Brazilian roads, vital for the transportation of goods and the supply of the country, hide a danger that is growing every day: cargo and truck theft. This is no ordinary crime. It is an organized, violent, and increasingly sophisticated operation that leaves deep scars not only on the victims, but on the entire economy. Imagine being alone, in the dark of the night, when suddenly your life turns into a nightmare. Guns pointed, death threats, and the feeling that you may not return home. This is the reality of thousands of truck drivers who cross Brazil every day. In this investigation, we will delve deep into this criminal underworld, revealing how the criminals operate, the scams, the traps, and the technology used against the victims. Real stories of drivers who survived, chilling accounts from those who experienced the terror firsthand. The mafia behind the robberies, who is in charge, where the cargo goes, and why. The justice system is unable to stop this crime. What is being done and what is missing, police operations, security systems, and why the criminals are still at large. If you think this is a distant problem, think again. This crime affects the price of products, the livelihood of families, and the safety of everyone who travels on the highways. It all starts with a seemingly harmless phone call. On the other end of the line, a calm, almost friendly voice. But what is hidden behind this conversation is a kidnapping in progress. This is what happened to a couple of truck drivers who were held up by bandits while they were driving. With guns pointed at their heads, they were forced to call their son and say, in a trembling voice, "Don't block the truck. Don't call the police, my son, please." The criminals know that if the tracking device is activated or the police are alerted, the victim could die. They use fear as a weapon. The stop trap many drivers fall into classic ambushes. Fake police checkpoints, criminals dressed as officers stopping trucks to rob them. Hobby truck stops, vehicles that block the truck on an isolated highway. Fake calls for help, people posing as travelers in trouble to lure the driver. An experienced truck driver with over 20 years on the road fell into one of these. He stopped for a coffee, and when he returned, 3 armed men were already waiting for him. They forced him into the truck, threw him in the cabin, and took control of the vehicle. One drove, another deactivated the tracker, and the third watched. "Me with a gun to my head," he reported. The technology of crime. The criminals are not amateurs. They use bugs on trackers. They know when a truck is being monitored. Signal jammers. They prevent the GPS from sending alerts. Informants at gas stations. They receive data on valuable cargo. In one shocking case, criminals had already captured the armed escort that was accompanying a truck. When the driver realized, he heard the scream, "You lost! You lost!" before being subdued. Igor. 2 hours of psychological torture. Igor, name changed for security reasons, never forgot the night he was kidnapped. It was 2 a.m. when 3 men invaded his truck. They threw me on the bed in the cabin. I was lying down, with an armed guy looking at me. They just said, "Stay quiet, don't do anything stupid." The truck was driving around for more than 2 hours before being abandoned. The cargo had been taken, but Igor got out alive. Thank God they didn't beat me. They just wanted the truck. The case of the truck driver who was held hostage for 12 hours. In another terrifying story, a driver was held hostage for an entire day. The criminals took him to a hidden warehouse where he was handcuffed while they unloaded the merchandise. I thought they were going to kill me. They talked about other robberies, about people who didn't cooperate. I kept praying. Those who were unlucky, not everyone survives. Some drivers are beaten, tortured, or executed to avoid leaving witnesses. Since 2021, the federal police have been investigating a network that has already killed at least 15 truck drivers in São Paulo and Minas Gerais. A billion-dollar criminal organization. These are no ordinary robbers. It is a well-structured system, with leaders. Bosses who run from offices or prisons. logistics operators, experts in shipping stolen cargo, illegal parts stores, where trucks are dismantled and sold in parts. The federal police discovered that a single gang in São Paulo moved 200 million in 3 years. Where do stolen cargoes go? Black market for parts, sold in clandestine workshops, illegal exports, containers sent to neighboring countries, money laundering in shell companies, fake invoices to legalize the product. Why doesn't justice arrest? Lack of evidence. Many crimes are not reported out of fear. Deaths of witnesses. Those who talk too much become targets. Corruption. Investigations have already pointed to police involvement. What can be done? Solutions in Progress PF Task Force, since 2021, has arrested more than 120 gang members. Anti-theft technology, camouflaged trackers, panic buttons, and AI to detect threats. Monitored highways, cameras with facial recognition at critically points. What's missing? Tougher penalties. Many criminals return to the streets quickly. Witness protection. Drivers are afraid to report. Integrated action. States need to work together against interstate crime. If you think cargo theft is a problem only for truck drivers, you're wrong. This crime increases the price of products. Losses reach $5 billion per year. Finances other criminal activities, drug trafficking, militias, and even terrorism. Puts lives at risk, not only of drivers, but of everyone who travels on the roads. It's time to push for change. Share this story, demand government action, and, if you're a truck driver, report it. Only then will this wave of violence stop.